Another edition of First Person this week, again brought to you by the Crystal Room in Troy. Call 552-7680. Talk to Jessica Brown for your next event to plan, weddings, reunions, any event. You'll like the amenities, you'll like the staff, you'll like the price, you'll like the convenience of Miami County's premier event center. Again, it's there on West Market Street across from the Kroger Plaza in Troy, the Crystal Room. Give them a call or check them out online with the address, the URL address here on PressProsMagazine.com, the Crystal Room. This is our first summer First Person, and as you can tell, we're obviously in a gymnasium, and the guy to my right here is very familiar to people who are familiar and fans of Shelby County League basketball, the former coach at Houston for a quarter century, now the new head basketball coach at Sidney High School. John Willoughby, thanks for taking a little time of your summer vacation to talk hoops with us today on Press Pros.
Always like talking basketball. Do it anytime.
You know, we did this about 4 years ago, either before or after you took Houston to the state tournament.
Right. I think it was after. Yeah.
Time goes by.
That sure does.
Time goes by. You know, when the announcement came out recently that you had taken the Sidney job, I mean, that hit people like a 10-pound sledgehammer. How can somebody so well known for being in one place for so long make a decision like that? And I know it's part of sports, part of coaching. There's always somebody that says, well, he stayed too long to begin with. Right. But tell us a little bit about the decision to come to Sidney.
Well, there have been several times where I looked into this job, but for some reason, my ties at Houston, I didn't take the job, or they hired somebody else for the job. So this job has always been around my thoughts. And I've lived in Sidney for 30 years. So my stepson goes to school here. And when I gave up the coaching job at Houston, that kind of freed me up a little bit to make another decision. If I were still coaching at Houston, I wouldn't have made the jump. But I thought it was time that I was done at Houston. I just had that feeling. I didn't want to, it wasn't because of any of the kids or any of the parents. I just felt my message was done at Houston. So when I gave that up, when I gave that coaching job up, that allowed me to look at other things. And this was the first one to come my way.
Paul Bremingen told me last year when he took a Troy job, he said, I still thought there was something out there for me to do. I wanted the challenge to come here and build something and just to test myself, I think is what he told me, as much as anything else. Do you feel that way?
Certainly. You know, I felt I had more to give.
Yeah.
There was a lot more coaching in me, but I was just done with Houston. Houston, that I ran my time, 31 years there coaching. That was enough time, but I wasn't done coaching. I love to coach. I love basketball. I love being in the gym. I knew I wasn't done with that, and I said, you know, I told myself, I told some other people, what did it say about me, or what does it say about me if I didn't want this, or if I was afraid to do it? What does that say about me as a coach? You know, I think I've done all right in coaching. I've done a decent job, and so this was, you know, this was something there for me to see if I can get it done.
That's the old jock in you. That's the will to compete.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You never lose that.
I'm a competitor.
Which is why you guys teach these kids. What you try to teach these kids.
Exactly. And we like competitive kids. We like intense kids, and that's why I try to get my teams to play. And we're in that process right now of the Sidney kids trying to learn me, and I'm learning them.
John Willoughby, the coach of the Sidney Yellow Jackets, our guest this week on First Person, and it's no secret to people who have watched this program play, particularly last year. You've got some raw material here to come in and work with. The cupboard is hardly bare, and I know there's people who know your reputation as an instructor, as a disciplinarian, as a person that gets the most out of your kids. They can't wait to see what John Willoughby does with the likes of Andre Gordon and company. And I know you can't wait to see.
Yeah, it's a young group. We got a lot of kids back. we're hoping we get everybody to return that played last year. That's a challenge sometimes, making sure that all the pieces come back. So that's step number one. We got to make sure that we can get the kids that have experience and that were part of it last year, that they come back and want to be part of it again this year. There is some skill there. They need to learn how to play, though, is my big thing right now. I don't think we compete the way we should, even though it's summer, you know.
Yeah.
We're going through drills, we're going to shootouts, whatever it may be. I don't think we compete to the level we're going to need to compete at. And to be able to take the drill seriously enough to make sure it pays off when we get into competition. Those are a few of the things we need to work on.
Let me ask you this, and I don't want you to turn red over this question, but I have to ask, aren't you a big reason why some of those kids would want to come back and be in this gym? A new coach, what's that old thing? A new broom always sweeps clean, but a new coach portends opportunity, challenge for the kids, and they're not dumb. They want to be challenged. You know, it's like why so many people say kids want to be coached, they want to be managed, they want to be. Don't you feel that you coming here has a lot to do with some of those kids who are going to make that decision? Yes, I am coming back.
Well, I hope so. You know, I'd like to think that a little bit about myself, that I think the kids see there's a different opportunity for them, maybe hopefully a better opportunity for them. And you know, the new thing for me is football. So and the kids have, a lot of the basketball players play football. I mean, the majority of them, which is great. I love that. I played football in high school. I played basketball, played baseball. I think these athletes need to play multi-sports, not just one sport. And I think if they truly love basketball and they love to compete, this is where they need to be.
We talk so many times. We visit during the season. Principally, I think it's sectional tournament. When you're scouting, they'll come up and sit down and say, hey, what do you think? What do you think? I'm going to ask you a little bit about the current dynamic of basketball. And I write about this from time to time, and a lot, in fact, about the one essence of the game that's lacking is the ability to shoot. Now, there is a dynamic on full display. I'm not a big NBA fan, but I am a fan of guys like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, who can just flat put the thing in the ring.
Yep.
And I'm going to ask you if that's made an impact on your kids already, about a commitment to become that kind of shooter. They don't even know who Jerry West was, but Jerry West in his day was that kind of shooter. John Willoughby in his day could score.
Yeah, I could score.
You could score. So is that commitment there? Do you hear it? Do you sense it? And will it pervade area basketball, at least for a while?
Number one, I don't think anybody realizes the time and effort that those two players put into their game. That's why they're able to do that. Now, high schoolers think they can come out and do it just by shooting 10 times a day or whatever, and they still think they ought to be able to do what those two guys are doing. Number one, the commitment, the effort, the thousands of shots that they put up daily allows them the ability to do what they do.
Daily.
Thank you. Hours a day allow those two and NBA play. They have skill. NBA players have skill, but those guys that can do what they're doing go beyond their skill. They put that extra commitment in, that extra sacrifice, that time. If high schoolers realize that, to be that good, to be able to do that at my level, the time that I'm going to have to put in, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing if they realize that. If they don't realize, if high schoolers don't realize how much time it takes to be that perfect and that good, and they think they can come out here and do that, and twice in a summer they come out and shoot, and they think they can come out and do that, then that's a negative on high school basketball. But yeah, I do see, our kids come in here, and when they're warming up, they'll flick the wrist back real quick like Stephon Curry does. They'll kick the legs like they do. You know, they don't worry about if the ball goes in the rim. They're just worried about, oh, am I doing it like he does it? And that's when it becomes a problem.
31 years at Houston, and he became an icon there in Shelby County League basketball for the record and the consistency, because your team's always played so hard and were so respected when you went into those gyms, and that's not an easy league to, you take nothing for granted there. And now his first year here at Sidney, John Willoughby, the new head basketball coach of the Sidney Yellow Jackets. That wraps up this edition, by the way. Best of luck.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Congratulations on the challenge.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Kids have been great. Kids have been great.
A lot to look forward to here in Shelby County this year with the Yellow Jackets. We will wrap this up by saying again that we're sponsored by the Crystal Room in Troy. Call Jessica Brown, 552-7680. The number's right there on the screen to schedule your next event, large or small. They say events perfected, they mean it, and you'll see what they mean. Until next time, thanks for your support of high school sports here on Press Pros. We'll see you then with another edition of First Person.